California Heartland is made possible by the James G. Boswell Foundation, committed to sharing the stories and successes of California growers. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Funding provided in part by the California Farm Bureau Federation, proud publishers of California Country magazine. More information is available at californiacountry.org. And by the Almond Board of California. California almonds, loved around the world, grown in California's heartland. And by Real California Milk. This seal ensures your favorite dairy brands are made exclusively with Real California Milk. More information at realcaliforniamilk.com.
Coming up.
Have you ever heard of a quagga mussel?
No, what is that?
It's tiny but potentially devastating to California's water supply and agriculture. We visit Clear Lake, where they're fighting off an invasion of quagga. Plus,
I didn't know a thing about all this. A thing.
the story behind a former pro ball player scoring home runs by producing his very own olive oil. And
an easy to grow California native are these.
Tips on keeping your water bill down by planting drought-tolerant plants. Next on California Heartland. From your backyard to the back country, in a field or on your family table, it's all about what keeps California moving and growing. This is California Heartland.
They are the single largest, worst freshwater biofouling organism in North America.
From a farming perspective, it's going to destroy our ability to irrigate our crops and have our livelihood.
This is the quagga mussel, and it's hard to believe that something so small could be considered such a big threat to one of California's most valuable resources, our water. Have you ever heard of a quagga mussel before?
A quagga mussel?
A quagga mussel.
No, what's that?
Never heard of a quagga mussel. Have you ever heard of a quagga mussel?
No, what is that?
I don't think most people are aware of it because it's been such an East Coast issue for 20 years and it's just recently hit the West Coast.
What's become a billion-dollar problem in other parts of the country has now muscled its way into San Diego and Riverside counties. And there's concern for other California freshwater supplies, including the largest, Clear Lake.
These are an invasive species that were accidentally brought over from the Ukraine in ballast water, and they went into the Great Lakes and quickly were distributed down the Mississippi tributary system.
The mussels attach themselves to pretty much anything in the water and form massive colonies. If the mussel can do this to a shopping cart dredged up from the bottom of Lake Michigan, imagine what they can do in an entire water system.
This mollusk has the potential to clog up intakes where water is treated for drinking water consumption. It can also plug up irrigation pipes that the agricultural industry needs to irrigate their crops. It can clog up hydroelectric generation, and that's going to have impacts upstream. It would be quite devastating. Our economy would be very hard hit because our economy here is based on tourism and agriculture.
The mussel problem can literally trickle down. Since Clear Lake provides neighboring Yolo County's irrigation water and its output travels all the way down the San Joaquin Valley and through the Delta, the quagga could potentially end up in sprinklers at farms like Daniel Wilson's some 150 miles away.
As you can see, when you take these apart, they're full of small moving parts. And if you look at the inside, these nozzles are very small. And if they all got plugged up at once, it would be a real problem for us. We wouldn't be able to irrigate, we wouldn't be able to do anything.
To irrigate his pear, asparagus, corn, and wheat crops, he pulls water from the Delta.
From the river, through filters, and that equipment needs constant maintenance.
And if colonies of mussels clog up Wilson's pipes like this,
I have to imagine it would be incredibly expensive to replace all this infrastructure here.
And that, in turn, could translate to higher prices in the produce aisles.
The consumer is going to pay more for food, they're going to pay more for power and water.
What helps spread these tiny invasive creatures throughout the nation's lakes and waterways? You got it. They hitchhike on boats, kayaks, inner tubes, even buckets of fishing bait.
People are what spread these species. People need to change their behavior. They need to only use clean equipment when they go from lake to lake.
So how do we prevent these aquatic invaders from damaging water supplies and threatening California farms?
Ooh, look here. Oh, good. Over here.
You've probably heard of bomb-sniffing dogs and drug-sniffing dogs. These canines are mussel-sniffing dogs, enlisted by the California Department of Fish and Game to snuff or sniff the mussel out.
There, smart girl. Yeah! We've got 7 dogs right now that are certified to detect quagga and zebra mussels. That's not even a drop in the bucket. We also have 5 dogs that are in the academy right now, so it's going to bring our number up to 12.
Take a look here. Check here. Check here.
To run around a boat and just all of a sudden you see the head turn and boom, they go right into where it is.
Good boy.
I saw something about it on the news.
Yeah, that was Nigel. Yeah, Nigel, the black dog.
This definitely helps out a lot, huh?
It does. Ellen, here? Yeah, when you're talking to, 20 minutes that it takes to, for a person minimum to search a boat, and it takes a dog a couple minutes. Exactly. So it's so helpful.
They're like great PR people for you guys.
They're excellent PR, and it all goes back to education. There's nothing we can do about the mussels once they're here in the lake or in any lake.
With only about a dozen of these specially trained dogs and no known treatment to manage the mussels effectively, the only true way to deal with the problem is making sure it never becomes one.
Anything that can contain water that's been in an infested water can be a source for transporting that to another location. So when we say clean, drain, and dry, it's clean, drain, and dry all watercraft.
Here at Clear Lake, inspections of all watercraft are already in effect.
Maybe someone will find a cure, something that we can do besides drain the lake or poison it, which is not an option.
Shutting down a lake could be devastating to the local economy, to local businesses.
But temporary closures could buy local water managers some time to come up with a plan to combat an oncoming quagga mussel invasion.
Water is a very important issue in the state of California, and this has the potential to impact everybody. So ultimately, we are all going to pay the price if we don't prevent the spread of this mussel in the state.
So, okay, let's hustle out there. Let's take infield and outfield. Everybody out to your positions. You know the routine. Let's go.
Like many fathers, George Cioppino enjoys coaching his son's baseball team. But for George, baseball isn't just a hobby. It's his former profession.
I played in the Indians organization for just short of 10 years.
George played several years in AAA and 2 years in the majors as an outfielder first baseman. And although he didn't fulfill his dream of becoming a Hall of Famer, he had a great time while it lasted.
As a ball player, I had nothing left to give when I got done playing. I was injured. I was beat up. I was on bad legs and had nothing else to give.
But he does have something to give as a coach. Besides sharing his experience and love for the game, he's also able to spend quality time with his son, George Jr. And time is at a premium in this busy household. That's because a few years ago, George and his fiancée, Karen, started their own company. By chance.
When we bought this property, I was actually walking down the driveway, and I looked up above and I said, okay, Lord, how can this place help pay for itself? Because it's a pretty big place. And I looked down and all the olives were hitting the ground. And I thought, gosh, you know what? Okay, I get it. I came back in the house, I go, George, we're gonna make olive oil next year. And George said,
are you nuts?
These massive 100-year-old olive trees lining the driveway were Karen's inspiration.
I didn't know a thing about olives, a thing.
But that didn't stop them. They began researching olive oil and found a nearby Modesto family who's been farming olives for more than 70 years.
And so I jumped in their hip pocket and said, teach me everything you know.
Their first harvest was small, but the Cioppino extra virgin olive oil that resulted from it was a huge hit.
It just evolved. I think Karen went out there and pushed it, and we've got such a positive response for the people.
George began planting seedling trees on his property, but because they take 3 years to produce, he had to look elsewhere for more olives.
We actually went out there and started finding people who had trees, so we farmed those, and got them into contract with us. Just a handshake contract. We don't have anything in writing. We just do business on good faith, which I sure enjoy.
Although they have hundreds of trees now, Karen, George, and George Jr. do all of the work.
Yeah, it's all done by hand. We pick so late because I'm going for a certain style, a certain flavor.
We don't pick early, before the olives are ripe. We pick when they are ripe. We wait until they're pitch black on the outside and real dark purple on the inside.
Once the olives are picked, they're then rushed to a nearby processing plant.
We've made it as quickly as 96 minutes from the time from picking to getting it pressed. Within 24 hours is our ultimate goal.
The oil is stored until it's time for the bottles to be labeled and deliveries to be made. Several stores throughout Sacramento and the Bay Area carry Cioppino olive oil, but local businesses have been especially receptive.
I think there's probably 15 or 18 businesses here in Lodi ourselves that carry our product, and just great folks, very supportive of us.
Like this winery, where Karen is unveiling Cioppino's newest product, Splash of Orange Olive Oil.
There you go.
I would say that's fingerless.
Well, it's just fun. It promotes the product for whoever is carrying our product.
So while Karen is selling the oil, George is tending the trees.
I enjoy this every day.
From fielder to farmer.
We are busy. It's just a different kind of busy. I'm kind of walking to the beat of my own drum, which I enjoy.
Nothing compares to the fresh and vibrant taste of fish pulled right out of the water. It's why we all stand in line at the fish counter waiting for today's best catch. Caught right from the ocean, straight to your table. California is in the top 5 seafood producing states in the nation. From Dungeness crab, king salmon, squid, tuna, lobster, shrimp, sole, and halibut, California seafood is making some major waves in the kitchen. So why not create your own splash by tossing it in the pot? Here's lifestyle expert Laura McIntosh bringing it home.
Well, thanks for joining us up here on the kitchen set. We're going to get started. We're going to cook it up with Cioppino, which is an Italian stew. But who made it famous? Well, San Francisco, of course. And speaking of famous, in San Francisco, the Taddich Grill. And I'm here with the executive chef from the Taddich Grill, Rajko Marin. Hi, Rajko.
Hello, Laura.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. And you're going to share your secret recipe. This Cioppino recipe is so good. So let's see how we start.
What we start, we got those saute pan.
Okay.
We're going to coat it with a little bit olive oil.
All right.
We're going to use a little bit of butter.
Okay. They serve, on average, at Taddich Grill in San Francisco, 700 to 800 people a day.
Yes, we're going to start with a little bit white onion.
Okay. Smoke follows beauty.
Yeah, white onion. A little bit of garlic.
Okay. Oh, that garlic smell. Oh, it's fantastic.
A little bit. Then I add a little bit of those
chili sauce.
Chili sauce.
Now this is kind of your secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce.
Okay.
It's very secret, and caramelize the onion very quick.
Oh, it sure does.
Bring a lot of flavor today.
Okay.
Then I go with a little celery.
Okay, so we just get this really nice.
Just caramelize a little bit of celery, onion. Then I add a little bit of green onion, just a little bit.
Okay.
I do paprika. Then I go with the
fresh tomato.
Fresh tomato. Then I go with this. I got those.
Oh yeah, the stewed tomatoes.
Stewed tomatoes.
Okay.
This is a Roma tomato.
Great. We have a fish stock going on right next to us too, and it was really easy to put together. And he'll use this in his sauce as well.
So this is the basic what I need for the Cioppino sauce.
Okay, good.
Then I go with those spices. I got a little bit basil.
Okay.
A little bit pepper.
Pepper.
I got a pinch of.
Hey, you like it spicy.
A lot of spice.
Good.
Little chili flakes.
Okay, great.
Little chili flakes. So I got more of those. This is.
The basil.
This is basil and a little bit thyme.
Okay.
A little bit thyme.
Great.
I go with the 2 of those
the bay leaves?
Bay leaves.
Okay, remember when you use bay leaves, take them out when it's finished, right? Now, this is the sauce, the first part of the recipe. The second part is Cooking the fish.
Cooking the fish, yeah. Okay, this is
so
pretty much done. So if you reduce this for another maybe half an hour.
Half hour?
Yeah, half an hour.
Okay.
It's going to be.
It's going to look like this.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect sauce.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
perfect sauce.
Perfect.
I'm going to go with the fish.
Oh, good.
Plate.
This is absolutely gorgeous fish. And we're going to pick out what we want.
Yeah, I got a few of those mussel. I go with the mussel.
Okay.
Few clams. This is a special. I got to cut a little bit. Looks weird, but tastes good.
Tastes great.
This is
squid.
We use a lot in the Dalmatian cuisine. It's octopus.
Okay.
It give you good taste. I got a little bit of white fish. I'm using today monkfish.
Oh, okay.
I got a little bit of crab.
Have to.
Yeah, I got a little bit of crab.
Okay.
And I can take a little bit of sea bass, but it's not as good.
Little sea bass is
just
good.
a little.
Yeah.
Little, 2 pieces of sea bass. Maybe 2 jumbo prawn.
Oh, yeah. Do we get any of the
scallops?
Scallops.
And this is pretty much what you need for the Cioppino.
Okay.
So what I do, I just put a little bit olive oil.
Okay.
And I need a little bit of, just
a
a
little
little bit
butter.
of butter. Then I use that thing.
And this is a great pan.
This is, it's not made by me, but close. So I just put a little bit brown, a little bit of garlic.
Okay. And it smells, by the way, terrific.
A little bit white wine. Cioppino sauce is pretty much done.
Yes.
You just
pour it out.
pour those.
This is the dish. Should we set it up here? There you go. Very simple and very easy. 30 minutes or less. You can do it at home. You know the secret ingredients now. Rajko showed you how to do it just like they do it at Tadich Grill.
I got those.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
This is a.
Oh, God.
Take another shot.
Can I taste it?
Taste
I
it,
got to
taste
try
it,
it. This
taste
is unbelievable. Have I died and gone to heaven? Oh, it's fantastic. I love it.
Hi, my name is Yamalet.
Hi, my name is Greg.
Come see our California Heartland. Every morning, me and my brother head out to the barn and we feed them alfalfa. They're cute when they eat.
Get a bucket full of corn and pound it up and down, and wherever you go, they follow you.
Animals need a lot of attention, and if they're not happy or if they're sad, to go tell our parents, make sure they're not sick, make sure they're strong and healthy. It's just a fun experience to teach us responsibility. This is our California Heartland, and thanks for coming.
The roots of California's farming families grow deep. This is the heritage of our heartland.
The love and care that they put into this land is just unbelievable. They really saw a future, and they knew that this is where they belonged and that they needed to be here.
Like many Central Valley farms, Jessie's Grove Winery in Lodi is a family tradition passed down through history. But in this case, much of that history is actually her story. From generation,
this museum is all created from artifacts from this ranch,
to generation.
I run the lab, and so that means I check for acidity in the wine samples.
Dating back nearly a century, these determined women strengthened the farm. Soft grapes held together by tough vines.
The women in our family have defined what we're about. If it wasn't for Jessie, my great-grandmother, this ranch wouldn't be here anymore. Jessie was the first generation born on this ranch back in the 1870s.
Jessie's Grove is named after Jessie Spenker, daughter of German immigrant Joseph Spenker. But it appears it was her mother who gave the family the rough and tough genes, setting the standard for working hard and loving the land.
She was an indentured servant in Germany, and Jessie was very much like her. A strong woman right from the beginning.
Jessie's credited with saving this farm at a time when few believed the fairer sex had the brains for business. It was the eve of the Great Depression, and following Joseph's death, this sprawling plot of fertile grape, wheat, and watermelon fields fell to his son Otto, who didn't really care for the business. But after all, who ever heard of leaving a farm to a girl?
He didn't like it. He liked writing or doing all the kinds of creative things. and he invested in the stock market. Well, 1929 came along, and everybody knows what happened then, and the ranch was in jeopardy. So his sister, who dearly loved this place, stepped right in and said, "You've done enough damage, you're out, I'm taking over."
A woman in a man's field. Literally, Jessie understood the earth, not only the green fields lined with grapevines.
And look up at the tree.
But also the spot her father Joseph loved so much, his 32-acre oak grove, now known as Jessie's Grove.
Isn't that beautiful?
Named for her because she held on to this prized property, even when money got tight.
Why not sell the oak grove? She could have made a lot of money.
That's what a lot of people said. You're being ridiculous. You're being a ridiculous woman. Just sell the oak grove and you can keep the rest of the ranch. She said, "My father saved the oak grove for future generations, and so will I."
Today, those branches still open to embrace the newest generation of visitors to the farm, tourists and wine lovers hoping to taste a bit of Central Valley history.
No, I'm the uncle.
Oh,
you're I'm the uncle.
Oh, you're the uncle.
It's a history that Jessie's granddaughter, Wanda Bechtel, is preserving too, in her own way, by documenting her family's story and struggles in a book and displaying it at this rustic museum, giving visitors a close look at what farming was really like at the turn of the century.
It's so important because so many people have put their whole life into it.
The next generation, my daughter Jessie, Jessica, she's now 21, so her mom will finally allow her to drink with me so that she can learn to appreciate wines.
There was a time that I thought I wasn't going to be a vineyard owner and winemaker, but that was because I was very girly, and so the thought of dirt and vineyards was not exactly, a prospect.
She's got a good business head on her shoulders.
She will be the 6th generation working out here.
Another generation walking down the same road as her forefathers, or foremothers, to ensure this farm keeps going strong. Another branch on the tree in Jessie's Grove. Everyone's a farmer when it comes to their own backyard. Try these tips for doing it homegrown.
Water shortages are happening all across the country. In Georgia recently, they banned outdoor watering in some communities because the local lakes had run dry. The same thing could happen here in California. And the question is, are you and your garden ready for that? Which plants are most susceptible to a prolonged period of drought? Well, water-thirsty trees for one, plus thirsty shrubs, ground covers, and everybody's favorite, lawns. One answer is to convert all or part of your yard to plants that don't need much water, basically just what falls from the sky. And that's why I've brought you here to the Fair Oaks Horticulture Center in Fair Oaks, California. They have a great collection of California native plants and drought-tolerant plants. Let's take a look. Okay, let's say you're going to tear out your lawn, you want to put in some drought-tolerant plants. What are some good choices? You need low-growing plants, and this is one of my favorite low-growing plants. This is called Teucrium or germander. It's from the Mediterranean region and forms a mound, not very high, so it could fill in and look like a lawn. But maybe you want something that's maybe a bit grassier? Well, how about this? This is called Australian bluegrass. Australian bluegrass gets about 2 feet tall and maintains its color and form probably 10 to 11 months of the year. But my favorite lawn substitute if you're looking for a drought-tolerant plant is this right here. This is called Santa Barbara daisy, also known as erigeron, and it stays in bloom 11 months of the year, and it spreads. But maybe you don't have a green thumb. Maybe you're looking for some easy plants. Have I got some easy plants for you? Come on. And easy to grow California native are these California poppies. They blossom in the springtime, they do die back, but you know what? They pop up again the following year. They're easy. Lavatera or tree mallow. It grows about 8 feet tall, stays in bloom about 8 months of the year, and it's really a nice centerpiece for any yard. But maybe you're looking for something that requires absolutely no water once it's established. Well, you can't beat this. Ceanothus. Ceanothus's range in size from ground covers to 10, 12-foot tall shrubs, and the beautiful blue-purple blossoms fill the plant in the springtime. Give these plants plenty of room to grow. They're going to get big. Now, they may look a little lonesome down here, but this plant in particular is going to spread out 5 or 6 feet. So you don't want to stare at a plant all by its lonesome like that? Well, open up a seed packet of annuals like California natives and just start spreading them around. Don't fool yourself. There will be a drought in California, and now's the time to start yanking out your thirsty lawns, trees, and shrubs and replacing them with California natives and drought-tolerant plants. And my only problem is, I don't know which ones to choose.
That's California Heartland. For more information on any of these stories, go to californiaheartland.org. I'm Chris Burrous. We'll see you next time.
California Heartland is made possible by the James G. Boswell Foundation, committed to sharing the stories and successes of California growers. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Funding provided in part by the California Farm Bureau Federation, proud publishers of California Country magazine. More information is available at californiacountry.org. And by the Almond Board of California. California almonds, loved around the world, grown in California's heartland. And by Real California Milk. This seal ensures your favorite dairy brands are made exclusively with Real California Milk. More information at realcaliforniamilk.com.